Hey everybody, it's Eric from the MMG, a group of adult gamers with a passion for video gaming, board gaming, and much more. Today we're taking a look at a power supply. This is part of my build series that I'm doing for the latest gaming PC that I've been building. This is the biggest, baddest, most powerful power supply I've ever used before in all my years of building. This is a 1000-watt Seasonic Vertex fully modular power supply. Do I need this much power for this machine? No. Am I future-proofing? Yes. The new generation of video cards are coming, and we don't know what the power requirement's going to be. I am going to be running a 6900 in this, which does take, I think an 800 is the minimum power supply, if I remember correctly. So I did need some power, and I wanted to go a little bit over. That's why I went ahead and got this and spent a little bit of extra money. I have never used a Seasonic before. They've been a reputable company for a long time, and I'll tell you one thing you don't want to skimp on is the power supply. They can cause all kinds of issues if you get a faulty one. Blow up and fry your whole computer. They can also cause weird intermittent issues that are hard to track down. So one thing I definitely recommend, spend a little extra money, get a nice quality power supply. All right, let's dive into this one and take a look at it.
Serious heavy duty. Very, very excited. So it's modular, obviously. So we can pop in what we do and don't want. Or what we do want. Why would we pop in what we don't want? That doesn't make any sense. So here is all the different module cables that it came with. You see there's quite a few. So depending on your PC and your motherboard, you're going to need some connectors for those. They're well labeled though. Look, this is an SATA. Okay, here's all the good stuff. By good stuff, I mean ones we're going to definitely need. So video cards or motherboard cables. Here's the PSU power supply. Goes to the PCI, so that'd be to the video card. PCIe, excuse me. So you're going to need at least 2 of these, maybe more, depending on your video card and your personal setup for your machine. You're definitely going to need the big one that goes to the motherboard, which is this one right here. So, okay, this is going to be different for everybody. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to loop mine through and the cables that I need. But again, you're going to have to figure this out on your own and sort through it. Figure out what cables you need, which ones you don't need, and plug them into this thing. And it's well labeled here. There is instructions. Like I said, always read your instruction book. Everything's a little bit different. And yeah, it's important to read that and understand it when you're building a new PC. Because a lot can be mistaken, and you can easily blow up your new PC, which nobody wants that. Alright, so I have the power supply set up here. I have all these plugs plugged in. I'll walk you through what I have for my setup right now. I have 3 PSUs all on their own lines here, going straight in their PCIe slots, and they're going to be for my video card. So not many of your video cards are going to take 3 of them. Most of them are only going to take 2. Some of them only 1, but like I said, I have the 6900 XT, and it does take 3 slots. And I'm going to plan on upgrading to the newer one. When that comes out, and I'm just going to assume it's going to take 3, but who knows? If not, it's very easy to unplug it and pull it out. So that's why we're setting that up. This right here in the top slot is my PSU plug that is going to go into the motherboard. You see it says CPU there. That's going to plug into the motherboard. I think every motherboard these days is going to take that. This one's the main one that goes into the motherboard as well. Sorry, this one goes to the CPU, by the CPU. It's the CPU power. This one goes into the main board. This is your main ATX cable that you're going to plug into the motherboard. All motherboards are going to have that as well. It does have this side piece that can come off if your motherboard is probably an older motherboard, maybe, that doesn't take all the slots, but I can't imagine that really being a thing. And then lastly, I have one over here for the peripherals, the SATA drive hookups. This is where we're going to hook up our SATA drive, and also any additional fans. Most of the plugs will fit in here too. Now, there is a ton of extra cables if you happen to have an older device that takes the old style ATX, this type right here. This cable you could plug in as well if you want to plug this in. I don't think I'm going to need this at all, so I'm not plugging it in. And the thing with this is, it's not impossible to plug them in once you get your power supply in the position. You can do it, it's just not as easy as doing it before you put it in. The other thing I've done with this case, let me slide it down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I've taken off this cover to show you guys where your wire management can go. So when we put the power supply in, we're going to be able to run all these cables up, and there's several slots. There's some on this side actually you can run up to put in here. This is probably going to be where you put your video card power. Your video card is going to set around this area here, but everything else you can wire and lead up here through the top end of the motherboard. However you want to do it, depending on how your motherboard situation, it's going to be different for everybody. So that's how we're going to do the wire management. That's something you're going to have to kind of figure out on your own, but I'm going to go ahead and put this bad boy in, and then we'll be back. Alright, so we flipped the case over, and now we're on the other side, and we have a bottom compartment we can open, and this is where you're going to actually install your power supply from this side. Now, my power supply came with the screws that you need. I think most of them will. If not, they're pretty standard screws. Your mother this way. My case is the bottom is this way, so I want to just drop this down very carefully so you don't drop it. I know I said drop it, but set it down very carefully. And then you'll line it up with the holes. And most cases have like a little platform there to kind of hold your power supply in place when you screw it in. If not, you may just have to, carefully do it or get a friend to help hold it while you screw. All right, the other thing I want to mention is make sure you get all 4 screws in. You do not want to have a loose power supply just flying around in your case. Why take the risk? Power supplies are heavy, expensive. Secure them bad boys.
Alright, and here's what the final product looks like. You can see my cables coming out from a few different locations. And I definitely didn't tidy this up. This was just the first initial, let's start this up and make sure it works. It could definitely be tidied up to look a little bit cleaner. But overall, I'm very happy with how it all went, how the cables were managed, and this power supply in particular. Very impressed by it. You can pick it up on Amazon for $159 right now. So if you're looking for a really, really good power supply with 1,000 watts of power, look no further. You've found the right one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have yourself a great day.